Hello everyone, it's Channin here for Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, we are going to create this really pretty fall card featuring the 9th sneak peek kit. Let's start by taking a look at what's included in the kit. First is the pop-up fall leaves panel die. Then we have the fall leaves background stencil. And lastly, we have this really great word die. This is the Give Thanks print die. Also included is one of our new double-ended shader brushes, but as the time of making this video, I have not received mine yet. I'm sure it's coming soon, but this is why I use the older shader brushes for today's card. I'm going to start by die cutting an A2 panel of this tan cardstock with the pop-up fall leaves panel die. Then I'll place my panel onto my grip mat and then place the fall leaves background stencil on top. Once I get it positioned and lined up, we are ready to ink blend. We're going to use 4 colors to create some really pretty fall leaves. We're going to start with our lightest color, which is mustard seed. I am using distress inks here. You could use distress oxides if you prefer, but I feel like the inks have greater intensity of color. So I'm just partially ink blending each one of these leaves. About 3/4 of the leaf I'm covering with this yellow. Then we'll move on to spiced marmalade. I'm just going to ink blend a little bit of each one of these leaves with this spiced marmalade. And I am using the Waffle Flower Shader 1 brushes, which allow me to, as you can see, just ink blend a partial area of each one of these leaves. Now we're moving on to a red. This is candied apple. Very little red. A little bit of this red goes a long way, and I don't want to lose my oranges or my yellows as well. And then we'll finish up with the green. I love incorporating green into my fall leaves. I just think it's like the little secret ingredient that creates the most beautiful leaves. And here I'm using kind of an olivey green. This is peeled paint. And again, just ink blending a little portion of each one of these leaves with this green, making sure to overlap some of the red a little bit because that will start to make some browns and mahoganies as well. And that just again creates these beautiful gradations or transitions of color over these leaves, and they're so pretty. So now I'm going to remove the stencil here and then hold up to this panel to the camera so you can see it turned out so pretty. The leaves are so vibrant and so beautiful. Now I wanted to add some of the veins to the leaves. I thought this would be just a nice detail because this is kind of a clean and simple card. So I grabbed my white gel pen and this is a number 10, which for me was a game changer. I was using 0.8s all the time, and this number 10 is just a little bit wider, and I haven't had really any flow issues with this slightly larger tip pen. So I'm just going over here and making all of the veins on all the leaves. Like I said, it's a little detail. It takes some time, but it really adds a lot of texture and interest to these leaves. Now you could do this with a black marker too. There's no reason why you have to use a white gel pen. I just kind of liked that contrast of that lighter shade. And we're just working our way down here. I almost have just like a third left to go. And again, it does take a little bit of time, but I just love the results. And the leaves do have a little detail, like a little cutout circle on all of them, and I think this just kind of brings in that opening, those little cuts as well, because we will back this panel onto a white card base. So now that the panel is all done, we're going to move on to our sentiment. I have the Give Thanks print die, and I'm going to die cut the words out of some mirrored gold cardstock and the shadow layer out of vellum. After I ran those through my die cutting machine, I'm going to adhere these together, but I'm going to adhere them with foam adhesive. I've already added foam adhesive strips, the Waffle Flower 1/16 thickness strips to the backside of my gold Give Thanks, and now I'll just adhere it on to the vellum. I will also add adhesive to the backside of the sentiment to just give it even more, foam adhesive to the backside of the sentiment to give it even more dimension, which is what I'm doing right now. I've just added some more foam adhesive strips to the backside, to the vellum side, and then we'll put that aside for now because we do actually have to adhere the panel first. But before I adhere the panel, I do want to kind of like pop up the cut areas of the leaves a little bit. So I'm just kind of like bending the panel a little bit so I can get my fingers in there and just pop up those edges. This adds that little bit of dimension, that little bit of lift. You can kind of see the background card base when you do this too, and it just adds so much more texture and dimension to your card front. And it's kind of like faux dimension because all these popped up leaves can go back and lay flat when mailing. So I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to the back side of my panel, and once I stick it down to the card front, we'll be ready to kind of wrap this up by adhering our Give Thanks. Now again, I did add foam adhesive to the back side of that Give Thanks, so I will have to remove the backing on that. Just got this last little strip here to remove, and then we will stick it down onto the card front. I kind of like it right in center of the card, and I just think that this word die is so perfect. I love how big it is. The scale is absolutely perfect for this panel die, and it just finishes the card really nicely. Now hold it to the camera so you can get a good look at those beautiful fall leaves. I love ink blending them, and I really think that little detail of adding the veins really kind of finishes this off and gives it that polished look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.